Good day and welcome to today's Dr. Anyoha's podcast. Today I am going to be talking about walking in children, and as usual this was inspired by a child that I saw who is 15 months and he is not walking yet at age 15 months. This is a chubby kid. The mother described him as being lazy. Of course, the mother was carrying him, and throughout his visit in the clinic, the mother was carrying him. Of course, he was attached to the mother. The last-born syndrome attached to the mother carried him throughout. So this child had no incentive to get down and walk. So at age 15 months, the kid is not walking. But usually most infants start walking around their birthday, around 12 months, their first year birthday, which is about 12 months. And we can start walking earlier, like about 8 months. Some kids walk at 8 months. My daughter walked at 7 months, believe it or not. Some walk earlier, some walk at 9 months, 10 months, but usually around a child's birthday, first birthday, they're supposed to get up and start walking. So 12 months, 13 months is when kids start walking, around that period, around their birthday, first year birthday. When a kid is not walking at age 14 months, I'm very beginning to get itchy and concerned. And when they hit 15 months and they're not walking or taking a step, that actually would cause me to initiate some actions, which we will discuss later. But walking is a very important milestone in children development, and of course they have to be able to sit properly, unsupported, which is usually at 8 months. They have to begin to crawl, which is around 9 months, 10 months, and they usually is supposed to be standing up, holding objects, furnitures, and cruising. Just hold the furniture or objects or chair and walk around it, which is around 10, 11 months, and then they let go, stand, and then begin to walk. It doesn't necessarily has to go through all those milestones. An infant might go from crawling to walking. They don't have to stand alone or cruise or do any of those things. They might start walking just from sitting. They just start walking. In other words, some kids skip some milestones and get into other milestones. But walking is a very important achievement, and it gives infants independence, that they can go around and, go touch stuff, explore the environment and be independent of the parents or siblings who've been carrying them all this while. So they get used to walking and they like it and they continue to walk, and it expands their contact area, their area of interaction and communication, which all fits into development, child's development, and cognitive development, learning, and all that, global development. So walking is part of it because it gives the kids the opportunity to expand for the area of reach. When a child starts walking, they don't want the parents to carry them anymore, and it will be a struggle between the parents and the child. But the aspect of walking is a learned thing. It's learned. Kids have to practice. Parents have to help the child practice walking by holding them and letting them walk, especially when they're around 10, 11, 12 months. That's age when infants start walking. About 12 months, if a child is not walking, parents should start giving them opportunity to practice and walk. Providing walkers beginning at age 9 months is very important, so the child could put their feet on the ground and begin to pedal with the help of a walker. So there are ways to help a child begin to gain their confidence about walking. Walking is learned and practiced. If you don't practice and use your legs, it would find it difficult to get up and walk. So parents are part of it, helping the child to begin to walk. If you don't practice, you don't gain that confidence. You don't gain that confidence to start walk. Carrying a child all the time, not letting their feet touch the ground is detrimental to walking. It mitigates against walking. They wouldn't be able to practice if we carry them all the time. Parents, mothers, they love their kids, but sometimes you have to let them practice walking, and that's how they gain confidence. There are certain medical conditions that would prevent a child from walking, and if by age 15 months a child is not walking, it's very important to get that child checked, evaluated for any underlying medical condition, and of course to get help. Usually my first intervention is to refer them to physical therapy or occupational therapy to help them straighten their muscles, their joints, and to gain that confidence in walking. Ultimately, walking is simple, but it's a complex mechanism that involves the brain, the vision, and the muscles on the joints. Those have to be coordinated for walking to continue and to be initiated and continue. So sometimes one or two things in that system could go wrong, and that might need to be addressed. A specific issue is in premature kids. Premature kids don't necessarily have to walk at age 12 months if you consider that they were born premature. So a kid who's born at 8 months, for example, might walk at 13 months or 14 months. That's okay, because you have to account for the prematurity. If he was born a month earlier, you have to give him additional 1 month to begin to walk. So premature kids can have some grace as to the time and at what age they start walking. Sometimes premature kids can walk a little bit later because they were born early, but a full-term baby, a child who's born at 40 weeks gestation, around that 38, 39, 40 weeks, full-time baby, they should be able to be walking at age 12 months, 30 months. And if they're not by age 15 months, is appropriate to check, to help them with physical therapy and occupational therapy. And of course, to investigate for further causes of delayed walking. Most important is to practice. If you don't allow your child to practice walking, they will be delayed in walking because they're comfortable being carried. So practice is a very important part of initiating that milestone of walking. Thank you so much, and please share this with your friends and families. Thank you.